In this video, we will see the Web API content negotiation with an example. So let's start. Now the question is, what is content negotiation in Web APIs? One of the standards of RESTful APIs is that the client should be able to decide the format of response from the server. For example, if the client wants the response in XML or in JSON or so on. When a client sends a request to the server, the request includes something called accept header. Using this accept header, the client can specify the format which they want from the server. For example, if the accept header is XML, we write as application/XML. The service sends the format in XML, and if it is JSON, then we will write application/JSON, and then the service will send the data in JSON format. So let's understand this concept with a real-time example. Well, I'm going to fire up the Postman and just paste the URL. And then we just need to provide the accept header value. So I'm going to click on this header tab and then just set the accept header value to application/JSON. And then initiate the request by simply clicking on this send button. And we will get a data in JSON format. You can also select this headers tab, and there you will see that the content type is application/JSON. Well, by default in ASP.NET Core Web API, our response comes in JSON format. However, if you want to return the data in XML format, then you just need to specify the accept header value to application/XML. But instead of getting the data in XML format, we are still getting the data in JSON. Well, that's because in ASP.NET Core Web API, we will get only JSON response. But if you want to return the data in XML format, then you just need to specify in your ASP.NET Core Web API project. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll simply switch back to the VS Studio and then just open this startup file. And inside this configure service method, we just need to add the add XML serializer formatters along with this MVC service. And this method will return the response according to our choice. So let's run this application. And in the Postman, if I send the request with accept header value to XML, then you will see that the response comes in XML format. However, if I type the accept header value to application/JSON, then you will get the data in JSON format. When you click on headers tab, the content type is application/JSON. It means that the client has requested the output in JSON format. Depending upon the accept header value in the request, the server sends the response. This is known as content negotiation. Remember one thing, if we don't send the accept header value, then by default the response will be in the JSON format. Let's try this. So I'm going to remove the accept header value and just execute this call. And now we have got the data in JSON format, because by default the response comes in JSON format. Now we will understand what a Web API does when we request for a specific data. Remember, the Web API generates the controller data that we want to send to the client. We are generating the products list which we want to return to the client. Once the list of the product is generated, the job of the controller is done. It's going to hand that list to the Web API pipeline, which then looks at the accept header, and depending upon the format which client has requested, Web API will choose the appropriate formatter for formatting the data. For example, if the client has requested for XML data, Web API uses XML formatter. If the client has requested for JSON data, Web API uses JSON formatter. These formatters are nothing but classes, and they are called media type formatters. So this was all about ASP.NET Web API content negotiation. Hope you have learned the content negotiation. See you in the next module.